setting the record straight. The AFC's success in improving internet connectivity across Guyana. The Alliance for Change is disturbed at the massive expanse of misinformation, blatant lies, and unsavory innuendos delivered to the citizens of Guyana by the Vice President yesterday in his usual cuss-out, abuse-out so-called press conference. Surely the citizens of Guyana deserve better. Again, we're forced to recognize that the VP is unfamiliar with the truth or is attempting to change the facts. Whatever his agenda, I am forced to respond and set the record straight. The APNU AFC had the vision to understand the transformational power the use of technology could have on development, and therefore created a Ministry of Public Telecommunications. This could give dedicated focus to this sector, providing an opportunity to plan, expand, and implement e-government services and tackle the digital divide through increased access to the internet. And yes, Mr. VP, the UN Sustainable Development Goals have decreed access to the internet a human right in today's world. Now the facts. The ministry started in January of 2016. One of our key focus areas from inception was following up on the ICT Access for Hinterland, Poor and Remote Communities project, which the Vice President mentioned yesterday. The VP stated that it was in the works, but in reality, it was more like languishing under the PPP. In 2017, after numerous meetings and after selecting UNDP as the implementation and monitoring partner, the project provided $17 million in US from the GRIF Fund. We had a public signing at the start of the project, which was reported extensively in the local Guyana media and internationally, with me signing as the minister and UNDP representative at the time, Khadija Musa, at the official start date of December 1st, 2017. I have the project document here, and of course it is also online. The VP says that we abandoned this hub project, but really nothing could be further from the truth. We signed off, started, and implemented that project, and of course I told you that was in 2017. What is shameful is that 7 years later, the last 4 years under the PPP, the project's financial performance at November of 2023 was only at 46%. You can check the GRIF website for this information, which I did just today. What is even more worse is that more than 7.8 million of the initial 17 million US remains unspent. The innuendo that somehow funds were misspent and missing under the APNU AFC, despite the careful monitoring and management of the UN by the UNDP, is a slap in the face of this reputable international organization. But the sad fact is that once again, and due to the slothfulness in implementing projects and this project and its delivery of internet, today we know that it may have had a negative impact on the learning and passes in CSEC and CSEC, in hinterland communities where we know access to the internet was so important to improving levels of education and learning. In the 2 years since 2016, the start of the ministry, to 2018, when the no confidence vote reduced the ability to spend, the following was achieved. In the year prior to this GRIF project coming on stream, we took the decision to allocate government funds to improve internet connectivity across Guyana. This can be checked in the national budget allocations of 2016 to 2019. We created the concept of a community location hub, which we branded a hub, which would provide free internet access somewhere in each and every community. By 2019, we had started that process, and 72 hinterland communities were connected to the internet free of cost by the National Data Management Authority. And I do have a list here that has those 72 and the remaining 24 that we anticipated would be completed by 2019. By 2020, we had connected, and this is what the record shows and is undisputed. We had connected over 170 community ICT hubs. The VP, in his repeat of lies and mistruths, suggests we created only in our strongholds. That's his exact words. Only in our strongholds. Nothing could be further from the truth. I have a newspaper here, and I don't want to start flipping through the pages. But as you can see, this is an article on Blackbush Polder, the hub in Blackbush Polder that was created. And we went on, and I am proud to say I personally opened hubs in Blackbush Polder, Blairmont, Crabwood Creek, and that's only to name a few. Time does not permit me to list all that we did in those areas that he claims would not have been our strongholds. But I have the information and can release it after. The VP scoffed at the fact that we used, and his exact quote, we used low bandwidth from satellite that cost a lot of money. And you had to move it back and forth to get any internet. Well, Mr. VP, we had those huge satellite dishes, the VSAT satellite dishes. And I cannot imagine how any citizen would have been able to climb up to the satellite dish and fiddle with it to get a little internet access. These infantile comments just display his lack of understanding of the technologies available at the time. And at this point in time, I really want to look at what the Vice President calls a lot of money. This broadband internet access was purchased primarily from the two main telecommunication companies at the time, GT&T and Digicel, purchased by the government and not in some side deal, as he commented yesterday. And as I said, it was provided free to Guyanese. We consider this not a lot of money, but money well spent. The start of providing free internet, the foundation of dealing with Guyana's digital divide. Over the years, the technology has changed and improved, and we're happy that the government has heeded our call to utilize the services of Starlink, finally. I want to examine the VP's consideration of a lot of money in a little more detail and to remind us of a few things that took place. Would he agree that the PPP one laptop per family project, which cost Guyana $4.3 billion in 2011, was a lot of money? This was supposed to provide 90,000 families with laptops, but fell short by 31,697, or 35%. The audit on this project, conducted in 2015, highlighted only 55,145 laptops were ever acquired, and only 50,009 distributed. 5,000 laptops from the project, costing more than 300 million Guyana dollars, were either stolen or found to be defective. In 2016, the working laptops that did remain from another of President Jack Deo's failed projects, you will recall, we gave to teachers under the one laptop per teacher project. And again, any search of the internet will come up with a series of occasions when those were handed out to teachers all across Guyana. On November 2nd, 2018, the then opposition leader Jack Deo, as reported in the Chronicle, admitted that the $1.3 billion fiber optic cable project, another of his supposed transformational projects, was a complete failure. This was under the e-governance unit headed by then Alexei Ramatar. You see, the Friends and Family Network was around since then. $1.3 billion with nothing to show for it. Now, was that a lot of money to the VP? The VP asked, what did I personally do? Under my watch, we connected approximately 170 primary schools, 100 secondary schools, more than 30 tertiary and educational institutions, including the campuses of the University of Guyana, and most importantly, 120 government ministries and government agencies, RDC offices. Every ministry was then equipped with state-of-the-art video conferencing facilities to ensure intra-government connectivity. On the private sector support side, I granted permission for eNetworks and Exxon to land their fiber optic cables, which have clearly transformed the ability of this nation to communicate with the rest of the world and for citizens to access the internet. At the time, too, we gave provisional approval to Digicel to bring their cable, although they were not ready at the time. We trained more than 4,700 Guyanese, especially young people, in basic ICT skills, opened the Center of Excellence with support from the Government of India, which is located on the university campus and was designed to train employees of the public sector in ICT skills. We hear nothing of that entity today. Designed and implemented the National Broadband Project, a $36 million loan from the Chinese government, which many people will recall expanded our e-government fiber network to facilitate e-government services, established a new and secured government data center, saw the implementation of the Safe City video surveillance system, and the erection of 100 cameras across Georgetown to aid in crime fighting, and of course, a state-of-the-art command center, which receives live footage from all the cameras. We provided free internet and facilitated a home for STEM Guyana, for example, at the sports hall. A mere fraction. All of this is just a mere fraction of what was achieved in 3 to 4 short years, all without a single dollar of oil money. We are proud of our achievements, and I regret, unfortunately, despite the length of time I've taken to explain all of this, I felt it was necessary to correct the untruths. We expect this government to expand on these services, to build on the foundation that was made. At the end of the day, the ultimate beneficiaries of these services are not any politician, is not Cathy Hughes, but the people of Guyana. The abundance of funds now available could be and must be spent in allocating funds to these issues mentioned. Maybe the real president can examine what we've discussed in this statement. Thank you.